It's Tehatchapod time. T-Budge joining me. I have three special guests. Maya Acosta, who you're usually hosting.
Yeah.
But I've got you as a guest today.
Yeah, I'm out of my element now, it feels like.
And we'll kind of tease as we introduce our two other guests, David Stenstrom, James Carhart. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We're talking TCTA, the kickoff for the 2025 season. The play season is here, and we're excited. And that's the reason why Maya's a guest.
Oh, Maya.
Yeah.
Oh, Maya.
She has something to do with the play that you're directing, David.
Yeah, she's a intricate part.
Yeah.
Integral part. No, we're doing Enchanted April. And Enchanted April is it's a wonderful play, just a really fun play. And the last time I was here, I met Maya and I said, you should come out and audition. And most people, when you say that to them, they go, "Oh yeah," and then they run screaming into the weeds. Maya came out and auditioned, and she is one of the leads, and she's very funny. She has depth. Oh man, there's a couple of scenes. Last night we did a scene that was it was riveting. It was riveting. So, and but she's with us now. So I didn't know how we were going to work this out today. Which hat you're wearing, but you're the actress.
Yeah, it's a new role for me. I think since starting to work for the city, I've always been behind the scenes on things, and Key has helped push me out in front, whether I liked it or not. And this has been another one of those endeavors, I suppose. So it's been fun though. I like it a lot. It's been really fun working with the both of you, James and David, and getting to know the whole cast. So I like it, and I'm excited for people to see the play.
Good. And she's very natural. Very funny. Oh, my gosh. They do some stuff on stage. It's just ridiculous. And they keep doing it.
Because on the surface, it doesn't seem like it would be funny.
Well, let me tell you the story. The story is about two ladies right after the First World War in London. It's February. And it's raining. Now, they just lost 2 million men died on the battlefield of the First World War. So the whole city, the whole country is depressed. And they're in economic straits, and it's bleak. And these two ladies see almost simultaneously an ad in the London Times about renting a castle in Italy. Now, they don't know one another at this point, but they meet serendipitously, and they end up, well, one pushes the other, but they end up renting this castle for the month of April. And it's expensive, so they get two other ladies to go with them. I'm going to say about the two ladies, our main two, Lottie and Maya's character, Rose. They are in different marriages, and not, and they're stunted. They're depressed. They need a getaway, and so they take it and they go to Italy, and it's a lovely villa, castle they call it, and they spent the month there. And they get two other ladies to go with them to help with the cost. And all these four women, they rekindle their lives. They form community with each other. They become vital again. They reawaken all the things inside of them that have been put on hold. So it's like one of the guys said, it's a chick flick on stage, but it's real. But it's real feel good, and it's very funny and poignant, and I think and they're still laughing, and they're not laughing at each other; they're laughing with each other, and this is great. It's a great, and then here comes James Carhart, who has designed this really incredible stage, and how wide is that stage?
23 feet.
Yeah.
And then especially when it's only 18 feet deep and you have to have a crossover for actors to get from stage left to stage right. Now you push the limits of everybody having to go sideways and only having 2 feet back there so that you now only have 16 feet. And then you try and put a villa on there. And like we did with Murder on the Orient Express, we put 2 train cars on there. But that's the challenge of theater and this stage, and so it's really a challenge, but it's really good because it always makes you push the limits.
Well, I'll tell you, every single time for the last several years that we've been talking about plays, the name James Carhart is featured in every discussion of every event that takes place at the BK Theater with TCTA.
Well, also, if you go to the post office, you'll see a picture of him on the wall with the numbers underneath.
Wanted?
Yeah,
Most wanted.
it's his
And on the milk
headshot.
carton.
Yeah, it is. And when we did Murder, one of the things that James said was we would look at and design it like it was at the Metropolitan Opera, which is like a 95-foot front, and it's 80 feet tall. And then we shrink it down. And we did. It's like a thumbnail, you're on your computer. It's a thumbnail shot. And it makes it really intensely, you really have to think differently because you can't just put something up. You have to think about the space. And how do you make it interesting? And that's what he does.
Where do you just get a creative thought? What's the process for you, James, to create? Do you collaborate with David on what he's seen, or
No, he doesn't. He never talks to me at all.
so David, you get what you get.
I get what I get, and I thank him.
Well, we won't say that. That's not fair.
No, that's not true. And it's not
but
true.
I there's something that sparks. I don't know when I'm reading the script, and especially this one because the villa. I just immediately had a vision, at least of the villa, because the London part, as you'll find out, we keep it pretty simple, very, very simple, as a matter of fact. But then when Act 2 opens and we're in the villa, I mean, as I was reading, I was just sketching, and I still have this little tiny pen and ink sketch that I did, and then I take it, and then David and I get together, and then we browbeat each other, and but the thing that I've done and enjoy doing with David especially is that we do collaborate. And that's something that is absolutely necessary in theater because he has needs. I have thoughts that I want to do, and I tell him, no, you can't have that. And he comes back the next day, and I said, oh, I see why you can't do that. And then I say, I've got to have this, or here's what you do, So in the end, you hope that you're kind of all going to this final point, like a pyramid almost, and at the top you meet and you get the final product that's as best as you can possibly do. Have I ever designed a perfect set? No. But David and I, this is our 4th or 5th show. I can't remember, but each one was, the Moon Over Buffalo was a 6-door slammer kind of French farce that, that was insane, insanity in a traffic pattern. Because that's the other thing, we have to sort of be a traffic cop. And just because there's a door in a set or something, if it's a really important door, you don't put it way off to the side. You have to think about that and what's coming in and who's going where. Then we had another crazy one with Baskerville, and then Murder on the Orient Express, and now this. And we, for some reason, don't seem to choose the easy ones.
Yeah, we need a set that's just like a park bench, but it would never stay that way.
No, then we'd have to do the park.
Yeah, we'd have to do the entire park around it.
James, you say they're not the sets aren't perfect at the end. The audience, they are.
I hope so.
That's the way it comes across from being one of those that sits in the audience. It does take you to another place. So you hit it spot on.
That's my goal, is to transport, take people out of their everyday life, and hopefully they will get to that. They'll take the journey with us, and because when you go to the theater, it's the suspension of disbelief, and so with every kind of element, hopefully each thing works, and I hope to everybody in the audience they're perfect, but you know what it is. It's for me, I'm a perfectionist, so I sit there and go, wow, okay, next time I'll do that. Next time, and I see stuff, but that's because I just want it to be better and better and better, and then till opening night, I'll be tinkering and doing stuff.
Well, it's appreciated from our end.
Oh yeah. Every performance of Murder on the Orient Express, when the lights came up on that set, people went wow, and they clapped. It was great. It was really a nice tribute. The other funny thing is, because it's such a small stage, and we fill it up with so many things, that he mentioned traffic patterns. We just did Oliver. God, Oliver with 27 people. There's no backstage. They put up it looked like a homeless camp outside behind the theater, because they had pop-ups, they had heaters and everything, because we had so many children, so many young people, and then there were equal a number of older people. And so talk about traffic patterns. Well, here we've got 7 people. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 entrances. But you still have to make a good stage picture. Now, I came into the actors, and God love them, they were just so wonderful, and I gave them what I thought was going to be the blocking. And it all changed. I mean, it changes as you start to see focus, as you start to see where they're looking, as you start to see the stage picture. They're over here, they have to go over here, but this person's over here. So, so you have to arrange the traffic patterns in such a way that the audience doesn't, they don't slap themselves in the face saying, what was that? You want everything to be told. The story, the theater is like sitting around the fire, telling ghost stories. You're telling the story. You want the audience to go along. And so you choose the best people that are going to typify, that are going to say those words that were written down. And then you have the blocking patterns. You have the story as it unfolds. And then you want to give it more life. And so I would change the blocking, and then we're like, well, you changed the blocking. I said, well, yeah, that's the sign on my head. My shirt, my hat says director. I have to do that, And so that they've rolled with the punches of that, as far as that goes, amazingly. And a tribute to James's set is that the attention to detail by the actors increases. We have tea sets. How many tea sets do we have?
We had 4. I think we whittled it to 3, but my wife has teacups coming out her ears, and so we've raided her stash and come up with some really beautiful pieces, so that it's not like diner coffee cups or stuff, but they're the real deal. So that
and we
kind
have
of stuff
artwork,
for me.
The artwork on the walls. There's nothing. It's all done to a T.
Yeah, actually, I shouldn't say it's funny thing. I'm honoring my grandfather, and most of the paintings on the walls are his. I've used those, and he was an artist back in the 20s and 30s, and so that, and also I have 2 paintings from Linda's grandfather, who was a painter also, and so here are these paintings, but they're also done back in that time. And my grandfather actually used to design sets for my mother, who was an actress back in the 30s, and then on through community theater up into the 50s. And she wanted to be a real full-time professional actress, but unfortunately, back in that time, you had to be the triple threat. And she could act anybody under the table. She could dance people right out of the room, but she couldn't sing. Oh, my God. She was tone deaf. The joke was that my dad would tell her to mouth the words in church, and he would sing for both of them. But no, so I don't know. Maybe I just thought about it. Maybe some of this is in my blood somehow. But anyway, so yeah, I like detail to me is really where I think that, it pays off for the audience. I think when I used to do a lot of soap operas and stuff, sometimes things would not be done. I would always make sure we had light switches, where people came in, whether they used it or not, didn't matter, but that they saw that. And I would have plugs and plug plates and lamps that are plugged into it, so that all that kind of stuff you see every day in your house that you take for granted or whatever, if you don't see it, or if you do see it, especially on a set or something like that, I think it just, you accept it. You don't go, oh, wow, look, he's got a plug there. But it's just all that little bit that makes it a little bit better.
And to follow that, Jane Henry she has turned into this wonderful wardrobe person. She's more of a dramaturge. You know, a dramaturge, you hear the word, but a dramaturge is the person that does all the research about the era, about the place, about the time, and about the costumes. And so the costumes in this show oh my gosh, I mean, they look authentic, and some of the parts of them are. That so that when the ladies they all have these wonderful, they're going to have wigs, I think if the budget holds up, but you were pitching pennies about that. So anyway, but they're down to their glasses, down to their period glasses, and so it's just there is such an eye to detail. There's no we try to avoid clinkers, and anybody who actually goes I saw that at Kresge's in 1970. They don't want anything like that. And that's working with these actors because they are responsive to that, and to work with James because that's what we want. And hampered by size is awful, but at the same time, man, if you gave him a big set. If you gave him a big stage, he would just explode because it's all been so confined for so long, and it's really an important. It's a learned skill, but you have to really feed it,
Now that you brought up Jane, and because the first show she did with us was Murder on the Orient Express, and I just fell in love with the fact that all of a sudden there was somebody who actually, she said, do you have any pictures or research or stuff that you're looking at and whatever? And I happened to have a folder on my computer, and I opened it up because nobody ever asked me before, so I never share it because nobody cared. And Oh, okay. I see it. I see what you're talking about. Oh, I've got this. So all of her costumes for that were so detailed and everything was color coordinated with what I was doing. And then she asked me the same thing. Where are we going on this time? What are we doing? And I showed her the colors that I wanted to do and what we were talking about. And she was the other day after I got the final color up, which still needs some things to it, but she held the color. She said, "Oh, good. This looks great against this." And so to have somebody else that really, really thinks about detail is just fabulous.
Now, you guys are, Jane is now a member of the city team.
Yes, that's right. She just started.
Yes. So Jane is our new graphic designer and works here at the city. So excited to see how much we're integrating. You've got Maya, you've got Jane. I know Jeanette Power helps with doing some painting on lots. Our mayor pro
for
tem.
a long time.
Oh, my goodness.
And the commute is great.
It is. It's walking distance,
It's like 100 feet. I counted them,
I love
ever
working.
late.
I love working with Jeanette also.
Jeanette, she's wonderful. Yeah.
She's wonderful. Her personality is great. She likes working with me, I think. But we bounce stuff off and ideas off each other, which is great because being a lone person out there, then you're not sure what and it's you create better when you're with other creative people.
And I know Jeanette's another detail oriented. Yeah. She's very focused on different things. She was talking about some of the details of bricks that she was painting and explaining, to make it look perfect for one of the past sets.
Well, it was the Oliver, and there had to be 11,000 bricks on that wall. And she painted every one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wonder about somebody's private life when you see something like that. There's a lot, man. There's a lot of detail. Yeah. And that brick is perfect.
Now, what about this one over here? She's been very quiet.
Oh, yeah.
See, and now Maya's absorbing, okay, but David is the big personality, right? And I always talk about there's always not enough room for David when he comes in here. 'Cause I never know which energy field
I
I'm
don't
going to
know
get.
what I am yet. But
We're ready. Normally, when we do the podcast, it's in the afternoon. This is in the morning, so I don't think you've had all of your coffee. But I think you're okay. There it is.
give me a minute.
Okay. What's it like working with these two and your team? I mean, your entire cast. What's this experience been like for you, Maya?
Well, first, we have this running joke that I can never get a line out before David interrupts
Oh
me.
God, I'm sorry. It's happened countless times.
So many times.
Because something occurs to me just before she speaks. I say, wait, and one night she goes, I got the first line out. And then I stopped him. Yeah, that's very funny.
But no, it's great. David is very hands-on with the direction of things, and when ideas pop into his head, he comes up
Everyone
right then and
knows.
there.
Not a lot of filters.
No, but it's very helpful because when you're, especially if you're doing things time and time again the same way, to break the cycle before that pattern or way of presenting it gets stuck in your head was something that might work better. I don't have really much acting experience at all, so it's been an interesting process of, I don't know, figuring out how to convey a character. But I mean, I love theater. I love storytelling, so it's just been a fun process to present a story in this way, and everybody in the cast is awesome. It's only 7 of us, so it's a very close cast, but yeah, it's just fun. It's new, it's a new experience. Yeah, again, I'm just excited to do it and have people see it.
What was the motivating factor for you to decide to audition? Was it the challenge that came from David? I know you got some challenges internally here at the city too.
I think I did that too, didn't I?
I think you started it, David, but then when we did the podcast with Jason Wheeler and Lisa McKenzie, right? She's on with us. They, again, challenged me because that was right when auditions for Enchanted April were coming up. And yeah, I don't know. I was involved in theater in high school and college, but never on this side of things, like I said. But I was just curious of what's the worst that can happen? I'll audition and see how it goes. I didn't think I was going to get a part. 100% I don't
Well,
think.
you left your phone number, so that, we knew how to find you.
But it was also interesting. I'd never been to auditions like that before, so learning that sort of process. But yeah, like I said, I was not really expecting to be committed to this, but here I am. But no, I'm happy that it worked out the way that it did, and that I took the chance.
Tell us a little bit about your character that you're playing.
Sure. So
Let's get to know her.
Yeah.
I am Rose Arnott. She is a 40-something woman who is having a very tough time. Her relationship with her husband has become somewhat estranged. It's very tense. Will I spoil it to give away what her confliction
You
is?
can't tell. You
Okay.
can't
David's
tell.
not here. David's.
We'll just say that it's a very serious life circumstance that has happened to her and her husband that is holding her back from moving forward. Really, she's just stuck in grief and pain and kind of in contention with her husband and is trying to figure things out. And her husband is more of the, come on, let's just move on from things and we're fine. And she just can't quite let go. So then Lottie, the main character, comes along and encourages Rose to take a chance and go to the castle for April, the month of April, with the 2 other women, Mrs. Graves and Lady Caroline. And their personalities all kind of clash at first.
It's a bit of a mishmash.
Yeah, but then they all start to work, and each of them kind of sees bits of themselves in the other in a way and brings out certain aspects that the women were hiding or forgot about or just, weren't at the forefront of their lives. So, yeah, by the end of things, Rose is transformed. She has blossomed back again, and things work out a bit with her and her husband. We won't spoil it too much. Yeah, so she's a very grouchy lady, actually, in the beginning.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I see that all the time.
Yeah, that's why they cast her like that.
Oh, I see. This is typecasting.
That's it.
Yes,
You've got a niche.
apparently so. So, yeah,
No,
she's
it's just wonderful to watch. The story is so well written, but to watch these ladies all rekindle their lives within themselves, and by forming, because women are community, but they come and they go to this place, which is one of the characters said, sometimes it's just good to take a step back. And that's one of the last lines in the play that Lottie says to her husband, Mellersh. And he said it to her in the first act. Sometimes it's best to just step back and say, marvelous, and go on. And that's what they do, and I see it every night, and they're doing it better and better and better, and it's just like, it's so much fun to watch them, because they like egg each other on. They're like Abbott and Costello. It's just really fun to watch that thing blossom, and then the other actors around them, everything, it's kinetic. It's catching, and they are there. It's really, really cool, and that's why you do it.
Well, David, let me ask you, because, as I tease Maya about seeing grouchy, that's not her. It's not her personality. How do you pull that? How do you tap into and get her to do things that we don't see? Because she's about as even-keeled, calm. She doesn't give me a hard time.
Inside, she's a seething cauldron of nerves.
Yeah, no, I'm just letting the real me out.
No, she is. It's questions, isn't it? In teaching school, you've got 30 kids in a classroom, and I taught school for a little bit. 30 kids in a classroom. Each one of those kids learns slightly different than the other. So I throw a bunch of stuff out, like the spaghetti on the wall. I throw everything out and find out what works with each character. I try to find that, because I want them to really explode, and how is it questioning, or because I don't want to tell them, well, say it like this. I'm not going to do that. I want them to discover it, because then when they come back and audition for something else, they will already have that skill within them, and not waiting for the director to tell them, say it this way, right? And so that's what I've done with Maya, is that it's been what about this? What do you think about this? So you have to look within yourself, and she looks within herself to find how to say something. If I give her the right, the right examples of it, the right questions. You have to ask the right questions, because you won't get the right answer, and that's what she has done. And there are others that I actually walk up. Well, I have moved her around. I grab her by the shoulders and said, "Oh, now go over here. Okay, now go over there." And the first time you do that, you go, "I'm going to touch you now, because that's what we do now. I have to touch you now, because I need you to move over here." But now it's just such a, it's a gas to go. It's a gas to do. It's so much, oh my gosh. And then when they do something, everybody laughs. I can still let them do that, because there's no audience. But in pretty quick, you can't laugh here. This is you're on stage. But I mean, most of the time there's just this joy and this, and do it again. And that's a hard thing, but I try to change it up. And make it a little bit different. And they're all listening. They write down the stuff, write down the blocking, write down on what I need, and they remember where they have to be, when they have to be there. And that's like, they're paying attention. And because, and I want the audience, if they're doing their job, the audience is going to pay attention too. Otherwise, they're not going to do well on the quiz at the end of the show. Because, I mean, I want them, number one, to want to go to Italy and looking at the set and feeling it. And all the things we're trying to do, and I'm still trying to do stuff that you really shouldn't. We don't have the facility to do. So I'm trying to find a way. Okay, but can we do something that looks like it, right? And the effects and the sound and all that stuff. It all funnels into that one thing, that apex that he's talking about, that James is talking about. The point that when the audience walks in, they get the point. And you want them to feel for each character, but understand that each character is different. And so they're going to focus with one, or focus with another, or focus with the ladies, focus with the men, because the men come in. They are left in the first act, and they show up in the second act. And that, there's an apple cart. There's something to upset, because, boy, the little red wagon goes flip-flop into the parking lot, because here come the men. It's like this whole new venue of emotions and how you do things, and there's boys here, it's just that kind of thing, so it's into the mixing pot, go the men. you know. And what do we come out with? We come out with this thing at the end that it is a feel good thing. It's a feel good thing, and we need to feel good. And it's also happens. We're open on the 27th of March, and we close on April 14th. So it's April. It's Enchanted April. We're all of us here in Tehachapi and everywhere. We're all crawling out of our holes, you know, looking at, if you're, you know, it's Groundhog Day. You're looking at if you see your shadow because it's been cold, and you know, it's been cold here. Oh my gosh, you know. And so you crawl out. Is it good to go out? I don't know. Okay, let's go back inside for a while. But then they come see that play, and here you're coming out of your cocoon. You're coming out of your cave. You're coming out, and spring. It's flowers, it's birds, it's all of that stuff. And I want everybody to come out. And so when they come out and see the play, they're going to feel warmer inside because spring is coming and spring will happen. And your life can change, and you can change it if you want. You have to want to. And sometimes sometimes you don't want to, and still it changes. And that's the message for me for the play, is for the people that come to see it to walk out warmed up inside and ready to go and ready to start spring, you know, and do all the things that we do in the spring. But it's your invitation to come out, you know, and I just love the idea because it's just perfect. It's a perfect time for it to happen, and what the set is going to look at, you know, what it's going to look like, what the people are going to see, what the actors are giving. They are just giving so much, and there's so much to it. And life is simple, but it's very complicated in its own way. And how do you break down those relationships? How do you get from one thing to the other where we were? We were here, but now we're here. How do we get back? You know? And that's what the ladies do. They flee London, they go and they rediscover who they are with each other. And then the men come.
Tone
Screw it
change.
up.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
James, I can see how easy it would be to collaborate with David. He shares.
I share too much. I talk all the time.
You're able to describe what you visualize. You visualize things, and you're sharing them. It's easy for me to visualize what you're expressing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think so. And he also is good for me because he can visualize what I'm describing to him also. Mm-hmm. And usually it's, I can't talk without a pencil in my hand. If I'm trying to explain something and I don't have a pen or a pencil and something to write on, at the end of the whole discussion, it might just be a bunch of scribble and it doesn't mean anything, but we understood it while we were talking about it. We do a mind meld, which is great. And that makes doing the sets much, much more pleasurable and exciting to try and figure out how we're going to get there.
We still have a bunch of stuff we're still trying to figure out.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be retired, but I'm going on a job and then I'm doing this. And so it'd be good to, I'll put out the plug, but anybody that wants to design or wants to
learn
into it, call me up. Go to coffee. Let's talk, because...
But on the serious side, you're ready to mentor somebody into...
Absolutely.
Filling this role.
Look, I'm not getting any younger, and walls are getting heavier somehow. I don't know how, mm-hmm. but I'm not going to be here forever. And if somebody wants to learn, I'm willing, and they really want to learn, I'm willing to give 100% and try and share the craft and teach the craft and pass it on and get people to somebody else to do that and let them find out how fun it is, exhausting and everything else. But
what a great opportunity.
I mean, because I really do. I can't do them all. I do have a life. We all have lives. Right. We can't do every play every year, and David can't direct every play. And some of the actors, we always need that new influx, which is what's great with my coming on the cast, and a few others that have come on to the cast, and the new people who were in Oliver. It's great because now there's this infusion just recently of new blood for acting, but
and for the technical stuff too. People are coming out of the walls. They're coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
and that's something we talk about all the time. Is there is opportunity, whether it's in front of up on stage or back behind in a supporting role. And here, you're talking about your mentorship to lead that next generation of set designers.
Absolutely.
And to get involved. I mean, that's an incredible opportunity with your professional background that you're able to share, willing to share that knowledge.
Well, the thing also,
I want to share that.
I want to be specific about him, and for all the actors too, is that you as a designer, and he has a long history of it, right? No, I mean top schools and all that, but he has, and I've done many things like this. But the thing is that what every actor has to take is I can't go on stage for them. They have to take ownership of it. Mm-hmm. And James is wonderful because he will teach you something. He will help you learn how to do it. He'll be there for you, but you take ownership of it because he's not going to be here. He's not going to be here for that. Now, next time when that comes on and you do that for a while, then you teach somebody else how to do it, and they take ownership. And so everything blossoms, everything grows. It's always changing, and so that's a really important thing within our lives, within the community. Because doing the plays, I mean, you don't have to do the plays, but how much TV can people watch,
Yeah.
And how do you equate live people doing something in front of you with the image on TV?
Right.
And so his sets, these actors, these costumes, all that stuff, it all comes together. But everyone takes ownership of what they're doing. And that's really, what a great thing, that here's the keys, you drive. And you can't, without paying a lot of tuition for someplace, you're not going to get that. And that's what this place gives.
Maya, tell me, what's some of your takeaway? You haven't had the live performance yet. Was it what you were expecting?
Yeah. I really had no expectations. Like I said, I didn't think I'd be going much further with
You
this.
didn't think it through?
Maybe not fully. But I do think, I know, like, you've put me up to some public speaking opportunities in the past, and I can't say I felt very proud of those. So I think with, being on stage, that has already helped me a lot. I mean, I'm just thinking even to, like, last night's city council meeting, I would have been in a tizzy, a couple of months ago, but learning how to feel more confident in my voice and things it's helped greatly through these, even just rehearsals recently. So,
well, you own your space. I must say that from when you started working here 18 months ago to where you are now, you own your space. So I'm seeing growth. And I'm seeing growth working with you and this experience. I'm getting to see, you just feel, I don't know, I guess that vibe that you're putting out, it's, I like it. I like the way you were sending out the information and we receive it. It's all you now.
There's one thing. Mm-hmm. To get her to growl is really hard. There's one of the characters that she has to say, that woman. And I said, she said, that woman. I said, okay, say it differently. She said, that woman. I said, no, say it differently. She said, that woman. I said, okay, growl. And she went, that woman. And I was like, no, growl at her. Now, that woman. It's like, yes, that's it, But to get her, and so every once in a while she'll hear it from the audience. She's like, you got to growl more. It's like, it's so funny.
I'm working on that one.
She's so genteel. She's such a wonderful person. To growl at anybody is just beyond her. So, but that's why they call it acting.
Love it.
I've never growled at anybody before, so yeah, this is a new one.
Now, I think she growls at me once she leaves my office.
Oh yeah. Growl in absentia.
Down the hallway.
Yeah. We do have a tea coming up.
Yeah.
On March 16th. A tea that people can put the dog on. It'll be over at White Rabbit Studios, which is Chris Morales' studios. And come for an afternoon tea. You can put on the dog. I think members of the cast will be there in costume, and it's it should be. Do you know anything about it? Then?
Yeah, it'll just be a nice tea party, as you said. Cast members will be there dressed up and in character and enjoying tea with whoever is there. But it's really just a chance to promote the play, promote TCTA, and it's a new experience that TCTA hasn't done before, so it'll be
open to the public.
Yeah,
we're encouraging the public to come. And
we're trying as a community outreach.
Yes,
and Maya will growl, especially at me. And I might even be in the room. I don't know what she does when I'm not there. So, but so it should be a lot of fun, and it'll be on that Saturday and
Sunday. I think it is
Sunday,
the 16th. Shoot, isn't it a Saturday or Sunday?
Oh, no.
Let's see. I feel like it's a Sunday.
Okay,
and then we're getting ready to start a 3-week run. Then following that, and that is the end of March.
Yes,
Would you say
March
the 28th? And so we're going to have 3 weekends.
Yes.
So is 2025 also going to have the Sunday matinees as we've had?
not the first week, but
Okay.
the following 2 weeks there will be Sunday matinees.
Okay.
Yeah. And tickets, are TCT on stage and TCTA on stage, and there's still 20, and there's not a bad seat in the house.
And I want to highlight becoming a member. That the community should think about joining. Now, I don't have to participate other than enjoying the plays. There's a benefit to supporting our local theater by becoming a member of TCTA,
Absolutely.
a community member. We get discounts to the tickets to future shows, but that money funnels back in for the purchasing the rights of these different plays, because these aren't free. These
No.
cost a lot of money for you guys to license to be able to perform it for the community.
I think that's something that I think the average person doesn't even. It's not something that would concern them necessarily to think about. And I mean, really, I'm sorry, but for $20, you can barely buy a half gallon of milk and a pound of butter.
Right.
No eggs. You can't afford the eggs.
Yeah.
No, the bird flu hasn't hit. But anyway, it does cost. I mean, the cost of materials and stuff like that. I mean, that's a concern of mine all the time, trying to do things. And luckily, I've had some sources. Just recently, I worked on a project that was going to destroy and throw away a lot of scenic walls. So I went down with David, and I went down with a trailer to Santa Clarita and came back with, probably 800 square feet of new walls to use for future sets, which probably in the grand scheme of things, if somebody was going to charge us to build those, would be about $8,000. So, I'm always trying to find things like that to do. But yeah, the cost of production is not cheap, and we do it pretty well. But yeah, the membership is huge. Membership is huge, and it's not much either. It's only $35
a year.
$35 for a single membership, and that's nothing either.
Well, and when you move to town, when we moved here, 4 years ago, I didn't know that there was even a theater here, and then I found it, and you need to be a part of something, and I'm not a good bowler, so no, I was going to be the last one picked for that. So I thought, and pickleball, I'm just a numbnut, I have no idea what I'm doing. But then here's theater, and I get to hang around with these creative people, and it's just, we need to belong, and everybody has an equal voice in that theater group. And there's no old money. There's no, there's, as with any relationship, there are things that go wrong and things that go right. But it's really important to be a part of your community. And Tehachapi is blessed with this beautiful site, with the city, what the city has done with the buildings and all that kind of stuff. It's a great place to be. Halfway between Mojave and Bakersfield, here's this thing, and here's the BK, and the city's being so nice that they're doing
the addition on the back.
Addition on the back. I mean, that's going to
don't have to have a homeless camp in the back, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, this way, that 2-foot crossover, you can have a woman that has a bustle on the back of her dress, and she will be able to get through that 2 foot.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah. Hold your breath. But I mean, it's such a great thing, and it's such a great thing to be a part of, because what you're doing is creating something that people, they need.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Enchanted April is going to be incredible. I just appreciate this.
It's enchanted.
It is it. It is.
It's going to be marvelous.
Marvelous.
There you
A
go.
little insider right there, right?
Yeah.
She said she's been working on an accent.
Yes.
Marvelous.
Questionable. We'll get there.
Well, especially when she growls.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the end of March through April, the first 2 weekends in April. You can go to TCTAonstage.com to purchase tickets. We encourage you to do so. I know we want to have a City of Tehachapi night, so just throwing that out there. I've been telling Maya, we're coming. You're going to bring the whole city in to watch her debut.
That's very good. That is so cool. That's going to be so cool. And we'll pass out things at the start of it so that you can throw them at her.
Oh, great.
No, my gosh. They are going to be
Roses,
blown
of course.
away. They're going to be blown away by what she does, because it's just so precious. It really is. I'm just surprised. And you know what? I took a chance, and I just thought, and I thought of her as another role. I didn't tell her that.
I'm curious about. I picked up on that because during the auditions, you kept having me read for Lady Caroline. Why her? And when did that switch happen?
Because there was one audition. Oh, yeah, this is pretty good. Because there was one place where I just had her read because I needed someone to read Lady Caroline, and I didn't have anybody to read Rose. Mm-hmm. And so I said, "What's your name? What's your name? Go, you read Rose." And then she did. I was like, oh my. And that was it. That's exactly, and I remember the moment, because you said, oh, okay. And she stood up and read. It was like, oh, somebody just got home. She just found it. And I was just done.
Okay.
I think that was my very last bit of the audition, too. It was just one short
right
little
there.
scene.
Yeah,
And I was so surprised,
It
too.
was, on the last day, at the last moment, and it was just perfect. Yeah.
And I was very surprised when you called me and you're like, "You're Rose." It's like, wait, I've been reading for Lady Caroline. The last 3 auditions. I'm so confused.
No, it's been delightful, because Lottie,
Never a dull moment.
Vanessa is new to us, and Jackie was in Clue.
She's been with the
She's been
TCTA for years.
And Nick
Yeah.
Brandonelli he was in Murder on the Orient Express. And Ben, I don't know what he's been with us.
Moto, I think. No, Private Lives.
Private Lives? Yeah.
Private Lives.
Hold on.
We haven't done
what
that
was
yet.
the other? The Death Trap.
Oh, he was in Death Trap. That's
Yes.
correct.
Oh.
And then, is there am I missing anybody? Oh, yeah.
Daniel.
And Denise.
And
Denise
Daniel.
was just in Best of Broadway. And she's Lady Caroline.
She was also in...
That's who read when you read Rose.
Yes.
Denise read Lady Caroline.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Poirot. Is
And Daniel. Daniel
one
was,
of our
was
husbands.
oh my
Blur.
God, he's so funny. Oh my gosh, when he does it. He's such a pompous person. And Daniel is the sweetest guy in the world. But watch Daniel do this. He was Perot, and I had to talk him down out of the tree a number of times because Perot was huge. There was not a scene in the play that he wasn't in on. And he comes to Merleche, and he's just so much fun. Both husbands are great, and then Nick is just so much. There's really creative stuff going on.
Yeah, you think because the men on stage that much and they play a different part in the act one and everything, you don't realize how important that small part is. That's why, they always say there are no small parts, because it has a reason, or it should have a reason if it's done right. And so
yeah. So the relationship, the husband and wives, Rosa with her husband and Lottie, with hers. It's just watching the dynamics change, and then in the second act, when things alter drastically, that's what we can do in life, and those are the opportunities that we have, and so that's it. It's just great.
we could probably go till noon.
I was thinking
I
that.
know.
It's Enchanted
It's
April.
dangerous.
That's what we're talking about. It's going to be here It's the kickoff to the 2025 season here at TCTA, and you guys utilize the beautiful BK Theater on Green Street. We're excited that you guys do such a great job of taking care of this property that the city owns. It's just an outstanding community event each and every single time you guys open the doors and turn on that marquee. It's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to this next play.
Thank you so much.
Maya, thank you for being a guest on the podcast now that you mainly host. James, thank you so much. Appreciate your professionalism every single time David brags on you, or even Chris Morales, everyone that's set in these seats to promote one of the events. James Carhart is always mentioned as one of the key figures.
Thank you.
So know that. And David, again, your passion, it comes across. We appreciate it. I'm sure that's one of the reasons that Maya got that bug to audition for you.
She's just awesome. She's just so good. Oh my gosh.
Well, we appreciate all the effort and community that you guys put in. It makes just Tehachapi a better place. And I think that our arts and culture and what you guys do, it just enhances the quality of life and gives people an opportunity. And it's appreciated. Just know that.
And for a little town, it's a lot of a theater. It's a lot of theater for a little town.
Yeah.
I mean, with the symphony, with the choir that we have, with all the kind of stuff that we have, that in this little tiny town, you've got all these people who are doing this stuff, and your opportunities are there to be a part of it, and to learn from it, because we all want to learn something. You don't want to do something that you can't learn.
And if you're listening, inspired a little bit by what James and David have described and what they're offering, with Maya being the new member that's taken from that inspiration, we encourage you to reach out to TCTA through their website, Facebook, stop by the BK Theater, and just see and explore what opportunities are there, whether it's on stage or behind the scenes. There is something there for everybody in the community.
And a great group of people.
Absolutely. All right, folks. So, David,
and
James,
thank you, Key, for stepping in.
I appreciate that. Maya just kind of, hey, we got are you going to leave the office and let me do the podcast? I go, no. You're a guest. You're a guest today. So
Good.
Thank you so much for doing it.
Yeah. Now she'll get to edit it though.
Yeah.
She'll get to do all the post-production. But folks, we appreciate the time you spend with us here on Tehachapod. We've been talking about Enchanted April, the new play that kicks off the 2025 season here at the BK Theater with TCTA. And you can go to TCTAonstage.com to purchase your tickets. Do so. And also consider about becoming an annual member. And that money goes right back into the productions. So we encourage you to do that. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. It's been a great day.
All right, folks, if you've got any questions, send them to us at media@TehachapcityHall.com. We appreciate the time you spend with us, and we'll catch you again soon right here on Tehachapod.